Greeting to all. In Pedagogy of English, today we will discuss about language acquisition versus language learning. Means that there is a comparison, there is a differentiation between language acquisition versus a language learning. So, important distinction is made by linguists in language acquisition versus language learning. So, what is the important distinction is made by linguists? Let us discuss in detailed manner. So, in that, first we will discuss about language acquisition. Children acquire knowledge through subconscious process as they are not aware of grammatical rules. The act of internalizing language to which they have been exposed to without deliberate memorization of words and its definition is what acquiring a language is. So, when children are going to acquire a knowledge, they are going to acquire knowledge through subconscious process. Means that they are not aware of grammatical rules. For the purpose of getting a language, for the purpose of acquisition of the language, there is no need to concentrate on grammatical rules. For example, in a rural area, even though they don't know what are the grammatical rules of their language, but socially, whenever they will do communication with people, they are going to learn language and they are not going to concentrate on the grammatical rules, but then also they can speak perfectly in their language. When socially in a natural environment, when they are going to do communication with people, when they are going to engage in doing communication with people in natural manner, then what will happens? Language is going to be internalized, which is going to be part and parcel of human beings. And when language is internalized, there is no need to memorize a words. When you want to expose your language with people, with a society, there is no need to memorize words of the language. Subconsciously or unconsciously, when you want to do communication with people, words will come in a sudden manner, in an accidental manner, because you are not learning the language, you are acquiring the language. So that's why in acquisition of the language, natural environment is going to play an important role, because in your day to day life, within your family, with a society, when you do communication unconsciously or subconsciously, you are going to do communication. When you do communication with people, you are going to get the language, you are going to get the words in unconscious manner or in subconscious manner. Next, they get a feel of what is right and what is not correct. Acquiring a language needs source of natural communication. Here, the emphasis on is on text of the communication, not on form. For example, learning the first language, mother tongue. The first language is learned informally without a classroom, textbook, and teacher. It is a natural or a spontaneous learning. When people are going to do communication with people in unconscious manner or in a subconscious manner, they are going to assess their language, what is right and what is not right, what is correct and what is not correct. And for the purpose of acquiring a language in a natural manner, what is going to play an important role? Source of natural communication is going to play an important role. Then what is the source of natural communication? Our family, society, context, situation, these all are going to be things which are available in your surrounding. These all are going to be called as source of natural communication. Means that source of natural communication is not going to be created by anybody. It is already is there in the natural itself only, in society itself only. So whenever there is need for you to do communication in informal manner, you are going to do communication with people. Next, but the important point is, when people are going to do communication with people unconsciously or subconsciously, there is no need to concentrate on the form of the language. Only we are going to concentrate on the content of the communication, text of the communication, information of the communication between two individual. When there is a possibility of communication, if any content will be there or any information will be there, then only there is a possibility of communication. Otherwise there is no possibility of communication. So when in a natural environment, when people are going to do communication, they are not going to concentrate on what structure I'm using when I'm doing communication with people, whether my structure is correct or not, whether my form is correct or not. We are not going to concentrate on those areas. Our concentration is on completely what information is there, what a content is there between two individual. So when there is information, when there is a content, there is no need to concentrate on the form, there is no need to concentrate on the structure. Without concentrating on the structure and the form, there is a possibility of communication between two individual. For example, Telugu people, first language is what? Mother tongue. So we are going to learn mother tongue informally, not in a formal manner. What is the difference between formal system and informal system? Formal system, when you are getting language by formal system, means that by taking the support of classroom, textbook and teacher, then it is called as a formal system. But in acquisition of the language, formal system is not going to play an important role. We are going to acquire the language informally. Informally means what? By not taking the support of classroom, textbook or a teacher, we are going to get the language. So that's why in acquisition of the language, informal environment is going to play an important role. And when we are going to learn a language in a society, in a contextually, in a situationally, so there natural learning is going to take place, spontaneous learning is going to take place. Natural learning means whatever communication is going to take place in environment, there is no force. Accidentally or spontaneously, when you met a people in the society, their communication is going to take place between you and your friend. So that's why that is a natural environment or natural setting. So this is language acquisition. So that's why generally mother tongue we are going to acquire. In learning of mother tongue, we are going to use acquisition, and for the purpose of getting other languages, means that second or a foreign language, we are going to use learning. So that's why in learning of any language, in getting of any language, in place of learning, what is going to play an important role? Acquisition is going to play an important role. Next one, after the completion of language acquisition, next second one, language learning. Language learning is not communicative in nature. It is a conscious activity. In language learning, children have conscious knowledge of the new language and can talk about the language. It is the result of direct instruction in the rules of the language. The children spend their time in learning by referring to dictionary for meaning of words. They do exercises on grammar and texts. So here in language learning, it is not communicative in nature. Why it is not communicative in nature? When you learn any language in an artificial situation, artificial environment, so that language you cannot able to use in a communication way. In our day-to-day life, when you do communication with people, we are going to use our mother tongue. But when we are going to learn a second or foreign language, we can't able to use for the purpose of doing communication with people. Next, when you are learning language, it is nothing but learning a language is a conscious activity. Conscious activity means when you want to learn second or foreign language, you are going to keep in mind that I will learn second or a foreign language by doing a practice of the language. So that's why it is a conscious activity. Next to second one, already you have some basic knowledge about the language in your mind, and always you will try to talk about that language. But when you talk about that language, when you talk by using that language, what is there? There is no internal or external motivation, only what will be there? Force will be there. So that's why when you are going to learn a language, by concentrating on the rules of the language, by concentrating on the instructions of the language only, you are going to learn language. And second point is, your important point is, whenever any child wants to learn a second or a foreign language, they are always engaged with dictionary. For what purpose? Whatever difficult word will come, while they are going to read, they are going to refer the dictionary, they are going to get the meaning, and they are going to memorize that word with meaning. So memorizing word with meaning by referring dictionary is nothing but it is completely an artificial situation. Next point is, in textbook, about text, about grammar, at the end of the each and every lesson, what will be there? Exercises will be there. Exercises about grammar, exercises about a text. So these all are artificial exercises. So generally students or pupil are going to do exercises on a grammar and text, whatever is given in the textbook. Next, it is not appropriate activities for children. Research has shown that knowing grammar does not mean one can speak well in English or write well in English. The children who have memorized the rules of language may be able to succeed in standardized test in English language, but may not able to speak or write correctly. So here, whatever activities are going to be given in the textbook, those activities are not appropriate for children. Why? Means they are completely artificial activities whichever is given in the textbook. So that's why research has shown that, for example, I have a grammar. If I have a grammar, it does not mean that I can speak in English in a well manner, I can write in English in a well manner. Means that for the purpose of speaking accurately, for the purpose of writing accurately, there is no need to concentrate on the grammar. So when you are going to concentrate on the grammar, you are not going to get the language. And next point is here, generally children are going to learn a language, they are going to memorize the rules of the language. So when they are going to memorize the rules of the language, of course they may able to succeed in exams, but in exams they are going to get success when they are going to memorize the rules of the language, but they cannot able to speak, they cannot able to write correctly or accurately. Next, the second language learning is formal. In an artificial situation, a forced process that operates in the classroom. The richer the environment in the classroom, the greater is the change of success in language learning. The process of language acquisition can be duplicated in the process of language learning. Already I told you, when you are going to learn either second language or a foreign language, you are going to learn in a formal manner. Formal manner means whatever situation will be there, so that situation is created by created by the people itself only. For example, classroom, textbook, yes or no? Classroom, textbook, teacher, these all are artificial areas. And for the purpose of learning a second language, what will be there? Force will be there. There is no motivation. Yes or no? So that force is going to play an important role in the classroom for the purpose of learning a second language. But the point is, we feel that in classroom, when teacher is there, classroom in all facilities are there, and textbook is there, we feel that that is a rich environment. When a rich environment is there, we feel that students are going to learn the language in an easy manner. But the point is, actually that is not a rich environment, that is an artificial environment, because teacher is artificial, classroom is artificial, textbook is also artificial. So that's why learners are going to learn language by facing obstacles, by facing problems. Next important point is here, actually we feel that this is an environment. In classroom, if teacher will be there, if textbook will be there, if teacher, textbook and classroom all facilities will be there, we feel that this is an environment. But this is not an natural environment, this is completely an artificial environment. Means that language acquisition can be duplicated in the process of language learning. And next one, the language learning is the ability to use the language. It means to speak, to listen, and to comprehend the meaning of utterances, to write and to read and understand the meaning of what is written. So in teaching a language, a teacher should not speak at length of the rules of the grammar, but to develop the four skills of language, namely listening, speaking, reading and writing through communicative teaching. So language learning, what is the purpose of learning the language? The purpose of learning a language is ability to use the language in real situation or in environment. It means that when you have language, you can speak, you can listen, you can comprehend whatever difficult words meanings are there, you can write and also you can read and also you can understand the meaning of what is written, what is in the textbook. So that's why in teaching a language, teacher should not concentrate on the rules of the grammar. What a teacher has to do, teacher has to develop whatever four language skills, which are listening, speaking, reading and writing. At the same time, when you are going to develop four language skills, you need to teach in the classroom by using communicative teaching. Next, knowing English means knowing how to communicate in English. This involves productive skills. Already I was explained in first class. Out of four skills, listening, speaking, reading and writing, productive skills means what? Speaking and writing. Receptive skills means what? Listening and reading. The purpose of learning a language is to achieve the communicative competence of that language. So here, what is the purpose of knowing a language? Knowing language is nothing but knowing how to communicate in English. For the purpose of communication in English, what is compulsory? You should have basic knowledge of the language. So, for example, in English language, how many language skills are there? 4 language skills are there. So, you are going to acquire all these 4 language skills. So, these 4 language skills are going to be divided into 2 categories: productive skills and receptive skills. Productive skills means what? Speaking and writing are called as productive skills. Listening and reading are called as receptive skills. So here the purpose of language learning is to, what is the purpose of language learning? Getting competency in use of the language. So what type of competence it is? Communicative competence means that when you learn a second language, you need to have an ability to use that language in a real situation. So then only you can use that language in effective manner. Knowing English involves not only producing correctly but also using language for particular purpose. When learners are able to perform the communicative function that they need, they achieve communicative competence in that language. English has rich vocabulary, and its vocabulary is a complicated mixture of Germanic and Roman words. So here, knowing English is nothing but producing language in an accurate manner. For the purpose of producing language in accurate manner, we need to use language in a real situation. Means that in a natural setting, when you use language, then only you can able to produce a correct and accurate language. So what is the purpose of using accurate and correct language in a real situation? When you are using correct language, accurate sounds in a real environment, it is nothing but you are getting communicative competence in use of English language. Already you know that English has a rich vocabulary, and that vocabulary is a complicated mixture of Germanic and Roman words. Most of the English vocabulary are derived from Germany and also Roman. So here the description of a language comprises the following items. One is how the sounds are produced. Second one, on what syllable is the stress is used. Third one, what intonation pattern is used. So here how the sounds are produced means, when we are going to produce the sounds, what we are going to use? Our mouth parts are going to play important role. Lips, tongue, teeth, soft palate, hard palate, these all vocal cords, these all are going to play an important role. By using mouth parts only, you are going to produce sounds. When we are going to produce a sounds, in which area we are using a stress, depending upon the importance of the word, so we are going to give a stress. And last one, in producing language for the purpose of expose of the language, what is going to play an important role? Intonation is going to play an important role. Intonation is nothing but a pitch. At what length we are producing a sound? High pitch, low pitch, high and low pitch. High intonation, low intonation, high and low intonation. These all are going to play an important role in producing the language. So here the general objectives of school education include language skills are listening, speaking, reading, writing, thinking, and communicative skills. So this is the difference between language acquisition versus language learning. So if you understood in a well manner, you can able to get fluency in an easy manner, and at the same time you can able to write exam in a well manner. So this is the end of the language acquisition versus language learning. Thank you.